Hello legends, welcome back to Legal Essentials, where we break down the law, the news and the issues shaping the future of Nigeria. Today we are pulling no punches as we discuss one of the most talked about and frankly the most heartbreaking stories in our nation right now, the 2025 UTME or JAMB catastrophe. Another year, another national mess, but this time is beyond unacceptable. Let's get straight to it. When government institutions mess up, why do we always hear phrases like God knows best or it's God's will? Since when did divine intervention become a shield for administrative incompetence? What really happened with the JAMB 2025? In 2025, nearly 1.9 million candidates sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). But here is the shocker: over 1.5 million scored below 200 out of the possible 400. That's nearly 78% of Nigeria's future professionals, innovators, change makers, and even our future leaders. Let's look at a proper breakdown of the statistics. Over 1.5 million of the 1,955,069 applicants scored below 200. Specifically, 983,187 candidates, that's 50.29%, scored in the 160 to 199 range, and 488,197 candidates scored between 140 and 159. Only 420,415 applicants scored above 200, with fewer than 1% scoring above 300. The scores are actually really bad. Additionally, 40,247 minor candidates were allowed to demonstrate exceptional ability, but only 467, that's 1.16%, met the stipulated criteria. Now the key statistics. 1. Over 1.5 million candidates scored below 200. 2. 75.5% of candidates scored below average, that's 200 out of 400. Over 50% of candidates scored within the 160 and 199 score band. Less than 1% scored above 300. And finally, 467 out of 40,247 minor candidates met the exceptional ability threshold. So now they try to tell me say all of us don't turn Olodo for this country, except me. JAMB registrar Professor Oleyede admitted a critical error, blaming a service provider for the technical mishap. But what does this mean for students like Faith Okpesusi from Lagos? Faith is a young Lagos candidate with aspiration to study microbiology who scored 146 and decided to take her own life. Yes, she ended her life over an exam result. That's so heartbreaking. This is a stark reminder of the immense pressure and the emotional toll this examination can take. I can remember when I wrote JAMB, the pressure wasn't easy at all. The JAMB boss, who wept profusely, wiping his face with a handkerchief, said he took full responsibility for the negligence of his staff. In the words of the registrar, today marks a moment we shall not soon forget, a day that should have been filled with celebration for what was, until recently, regarded as our most successful UTME exercise. Regrettably, this joy has been overshadowed by an easily avoidable error by one or two persons, Oleyede said. Speaking further, registrar noted that 65 centers were affected in Lagos zone, comprising only Lagos State, and 92 centers were affected in Owerri zone, which includes the southeast states. In clear terms, in the process of rectifying the issue, the technical personnel deployed by the service provider for Lagos and southeast zones inadvertently failed to update some of the delivery servers. Regrettably, this oversight went undetected for prior to the release of the result. This was preceded by the actions of popular education advocate and Chief Executive Officer of Educate, Alex Inyam, where he announced on Sunday that thousands of students were ready to commence legal proceedings against JAMB. That's all that's struck now. Currently, we have 8,391 students who have sent in their complaints regarding the glitches in the JAMB 2025 exam. He posted on his X page, there is ample evidence to prove that JAMB system was inefficient, thereby causing serious harm to these students' mental health. He continued, the demand is for JAMB to show all students their mark sheets, to view their results, what they failed, the correct answers, and a seamless way to dispute it. The destinies of these students are at stake. Responding to the concerns in a statement on Monday, JAMB spokesman Dr. Fabian Benjamin said the exam body had hired experts to interrogate its system. Nigerians, it's time to ask the hard legal questions. Could this systematic failure form the basis of a legal action? Let's take a look at what the law says. Section 5 of the Joint Admission Matriculation Board Act mandates JAMB to conduct matriculation exams into Nigerian tertiary institutions. But when 1. The infrastructure is unreliable, 2. Results are rendered inaccurate by administrative error, and 3. Candidates sue irreparable harm. Then a strong argument arises for negligence and breach of statutory duty. In fact, under Section 6 of the Nigerian Constitution, 1999 as amended, courts are empowered to address many infringements of rights, including those arising from administrative failures. Let's take it a step further. Can the students, especially the over 1.5 million affected, come together and sue? The answer is yes. By Order 13, Rule 15, Sub-Rule 1 of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Rules 2018, Order 15, Rule 13, Sub-Rule 1 of the Lagos 2019 Rules, and Order 9, Rule 4, Sub-Rule 1 of the HFC Rule 2019, a group of affected persons with common interests can initiate a class action suit, and a judge is empowered to appoint one or more persons to represent a person, members of a class, or class of persons interested in the class action. That means affected candidates and their guardians can unite to demand 1. A proper review and audit of the 2025 UTME process. 2. Psychological support for students. 3. Refunds of fees. And 4. Compensation for traumas and loss. Let's pause for a moment and remember, behind every score, there is a dream, a story, a life. Faith Ekposusi wanted to study microbiology. Instead, her dreams ended because a flawed system failed her. And this is not just about Faith. Thousands of young Nigerians have been left anxious and hopeless due to this recurring JAMB dilemma. This is not just a legal problem, it's a systematic one. Nigeria must rethink standardized testing as the only path to their education. There are 5 reforms we propose at Legends TV. 1. Reform of the JAMB Act to introduce multiple evaluation models beyond UTME. 2. Constitution of an individual JAMB oversight committee with tech experts, psychologists, educators, and civil rights groups. 3. Mandatory third-party auditing of JAMB platforms before results release. 4. Introduction of emotional and academic support services in secondary schools. And 5. Rights of legal redress enriched in Freedom of Information Act and the Constitution. Because students must know they can seek for accountability. Now over to you, Legends. Should we scrap JAMB and design a better system rooted in fairness and cumulative academic evaluation? Should the National Assembly amend the JAMB Act to introduce clear liability clauses for administrative errors? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Tag your lawmakers, share to your friends and teachers, because if we don't talk about this, nothing's gonna change. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. This is Legends TV, Ekemudo, signing off.